This Christmas season, we're counting our greatest blessing, the people and communities we call home. As a locally owned bank, we don't just serve our customers, we serve our neighbors and friends. Merry Christmas to you and your family from all of us at First Choice Bank.
Over 2,000 years ago, the message from the angels to the shepherds still remains true today. Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be for all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. Fear not. The Room to Room family wishes you a very Merry Christmas and a joyful and peaceful Happy New Year.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome into the Room to Room Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Gabe and you're here for Mississippi Live Weather at 10. No, do not turn your displays off. We are just getting started at the 10 o'clock hour and tracking a busy holiday forecast as Christmas Eve is almost wrapped up, and you know what's next, Christmas Eve. So let's go ahead and get into those headlines. Of course, the big one is going to be those warm temperatures, the gift that keeps on giving. Can't escape it. North Mississippi has been highlighted by above average temperatures for nearly a week now, and that carries over into our holiday forecast. We'll track that out here in just a moment. We're also watching for some patchy fog for your morning commute. If you're looking to get a head start and beat the traffic there for your Christmas Eve plans, well, yeah, it might come at a cost with those low beams needing to be essential heading out the door. Beyond that, out with the warm, in with the cold. We're talking about 2026, getting a sneak peek or a look ahead at that New Year's Eve forecast here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. So all of your holiday plans, we're addressing it all, at least forecast-wise here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. The first 12, there you're getting a look at that patchy fog already starting to form just a bit, but it's going to be where those breezes are a bit on the calmer side because of course, calmer conditions allow for that moisture to settle in, the fog to develop, and then that's where we get that patchy fog across the area. But that moisture overnight keeps those temperatures pretty uniform. 59 by 11, falling off, or should I say remaining about the same, 58 degrees by 5 a.m. And then we're climbing, heading into the rest of our Wednesday, the rest of our Christmas Eve, into the upper 60s by 11, with that sunshine peeking through at times throughout the day. So honestly, this is a gift that keeps on giving, like I mentioned, with that warm air still sticking around. But the addition to that gift is the fact that it's a dry forecast. Getting a look out there in Greenville, yeah, you are seeing a calm night across the area. Unfortunately, the reporting station is down, but you can see that there were some stars showing up, and that's showing us those clear skies. Now, 54 degrees in West Point, but look at that number. 0-mile-an-hour winds, meaning calm winds across the Clay County, and that's going to allow for some of this fog to settle in. So all across North Mississippi, especially where those calmer winds are in place, that's where you can expect some patchy fog for your Christmas Eve morning commute. Christmas Eve morning, yeah. A little bit of opposites right there, but you get what I'm saying. Aberdeen 54 degrees, and same thing in Monroe County with that calm wind overhead, allowing for that moisture, that fog to settle in, because dew points are right around that same margin as the temperatures. And as we've talked about here on Mississippi Live Weather, when those two numbers are equivalent, shows that it's a saturated forecast, and that moisture has to go somewhere. And when it's not in the form of rainfall, it's in the form of course, fog. So that's what we're getting into our morning commute. And as we keep going with this forecast, unfortunately, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look right there on our Mississippi Live Weather radar as you're taking a look outside, still with those dry conditions overhead. So no rainfall expected within that forecast, but that's where that cloud cover, at least cloud cover on the ground with that fog, will start to develop into those overnight hours. But that's not the only story heading into our Wednesday. We're also tracking temperatures. Let's get a look at some of those temperatures across the region. 61 Corinth, 62 Palo, same thing around Houston, 59 Starkville, 58 Macon, and 55 Kosciuszko. Now, you might be asking, Gabe, why is it warmer up north and colder down south? Isn't it supposed to be the opposite? Well, you'd be exactly right, at least when the atmosphere is normal. But tonight, not really in the normal standard. As you take a look right there, we do have that moisture right along the Tennessee state line. Whenever there's moisture overhead, it almost acts as a blanket, not allowing that heat to escape. So that's why those temperatures are pretty uniform and uniformly warm. Further down south, there is some break in that cloud cover, allowing for that heat to escape, and that's why temperatures are a little bit of a step back, but nonetheless, it is still a warm forecast no matter where you're at. 65 New Orleans, same thing Shreveport, 63 Little Rock, 59 Springfield, Missouri, 59 Lexington, 54 Charlotte. I mean, you get the picture. And especially if we jump out west, Dallas at 70 and San Antonio at 69, it is just a toasty forecast, and we're ready for that cold air to move in. At least I am, because Christmas, I want it to feel like Christmas. But as we get into that forecast, I'll at least appreciate the fact that it's a dry forecast, especially on our surface analysis. This frontal boundary that teased us, clearing on out of the area and taking a good bit of those rain chances with it. That's why we're going to be left with a much drier pattern for the start of our Christmas Eve morning. Let's go ahead and track that out on Futurecast. There's those greens that are showing up, and that's the potential for some light showers. But what I'm really seeing when I see these greens pop up is going to be where the fog is the most expected. So watch as this dips a little bit further towards the south, and we get that cloud cover building in right across the Tennessee state line, and even a few of those greens popping up as well. Now I'm going to bring it in just a little bit closer so you can get a visual, but that's dipping in by 3, 4, and 5 o'clock on your Wednesday morning, and that's where that patchy fog is not an impossibility, with some of that leading cloud cover resulting in some patchy fog as well. That's what a large part of these clouds are, is just going to be fog on the ground. So as we keep going with that mid-morning forecast, a large part of that fog is going to burn up. Then we're left with partly cloudy conditions. And I know you're seeing the screen and seeing that there's green still there. That green is not going to be indicative of showers. I think this does stay elevated, similar to what we had today. A sprinkle, not an impossibility, but we're not getting this much widespread showers across North Mississippi. I do expect us to remain on the mostly dry side. Now into the lunchtime hour and even into that early afternoon time frame, you can really see things starting to break up and making way for some mostly sunny skies as we wrap up our Christmas Eve and head into those Christmas Eve services. So your Christmas Eve forecast, the next 24, 6 a.m., 10%, 58 degrees. We're climbing beyond that point though, 72 by noon and topping out around 74 degrees for your 3 o'clock hour on your Christmas Eve. Now heading into those Christmas Eve services, one of my favorite things to do was always, wear a Christmas sweater or something that was just had Christmas colors, was so festive. Not exactly going to be the case tomorrow. I'm going to have to get the polos back out because it's going to be that abnormally warm here in North Mississippi to accommodate for 68 degrees by 6 o'clock. Now partly cloudy skies, still some breaks in the skies do allow for some of those temperatures to cool off overnight. May get away with a long sleeve, but I wouldn't make sure it's anything too thick because that'll definitely be a little bit too toasty with this pattern. Now coming up in the next 60, I told you that out with the warm, in with the cold. We're talking about New Year's Eve forecast. We also have not addressed your Christmas Day forecast just yet. We'll be talking about all of that in more detail coming up from the Room to Room Weather Center here in the next 60 for Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger. A soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
If you're a family of 4, 5,
or 6, 7,
Merry Christmas from Mississippi Live Weather.
That was good.
I think that was the one.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, you guys didn't do it.
No, we didn't.
Well, welcome back into the Room to Room Weather Center, tracking a calm forecast overnight, but patchy fog already starting to develop. Getting a look out of there in Montgomery County, Winona. Yeah, you see it. The patchy fog already starting to form. A little bit of a calm wind out there, 5 miles an hour. That'll help clear out some parts whenever it comes to those foggy conditions, but nonetheless, we still expect some dense fog by our morning commute. 61 degrees in Winona, and if you look at that dew point, 55 degrees shows that saturated environment. So more of this is expected across North Mississippi if it's not in your area already. So those breezy conditions, honestly, be grateful for it if you do have them, but a large part of the area not going to. Caledonia as well, 54 degrees, and this is what's more expected, that 0 mile an hour wind, meaning that there's no wind in the picture. That's allowing for that moisture to settle in, especially at the surface, and making for those patchy fog to develop overhead for our morning commute by Wednesday. Fulton looking good to go right now, 57 degrees, still a breeze coming out of the southwest, 3 miles an hour. Dew point right around that same margin, so moisture is definitely there. It's just how long does it take to settle in? So let's go ahead and look at that holiday forecast because we're talking a large part about our Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I've been telling you guys, it's dry. Nothing to worry about. Well, that is actually a fact, but it is going to be the warm air that we do have to worry about with 74 degrees Christmas Eve, 75 degrees on Christmas, that mostly dry forecast in place, but warmer temperatures. We've been showing you this graphic all week long. preparing on our warm Christmas day, and nothing has changed in that pattern. Been pretty consistent whenever it comes to these warm temperatures. So Merry Christmas to everybody, a gift that keeps on giving, this warmer air, and we're definitely grateful for it, especially when it's paired with those dry conditions. All right, let's track out some of our Mississippi Live weather radar. And as you take a look outside, you can see those dry conditions remain overhead. But if we look on the expanded picture and see rainfall totals, there hasn't been a drop all day long. Yesterday, some light showers, and that was even more than what we had today. So I expect that to continue overnight and for the start of our Wednesday. As you see, forecasted rainfall with the Weather Prediction Center, not exactly tracking any drop of rainfall either, and that carries over into our Thursday forecast. So, like I said, dry pattern, rain supreme heading into our Christmas forecast, and especially by our Christmas day. Day planner tonight, still remaining with those dry conditions. I do want to point out, there will be fog developing as we saw in Winona, but there also will be the potential of a sprinkle or two overnight. I hesitated on 10%, but I felt like it was worth it enough to put it there because it's not an impossibility that we do get a few drops. I'm just not sold on it because I expect a large part of that moisture to be in the form of fog. And that's not going to be anything precipitating from the sky. That's going to be sitting there on the ground. Still a hazard, but not in the form of rainfall. So there is that 10% chance if any of this were to verify and fall from the sky, but I do expect a large part of our moisture to be in the form of that fog coverage. Our futurecast staying on the drier side, but as we talked about a moment ago, you can see how a large part of this cloud cover, a large part of this fog builds into the area, especially during those 3, 4, and 5 o'clock hours. Let's zoom it out right here, and you can see those greens popping up. And this is where I'm hesitating, because technically a sprinkle is not impossible, but like we saw yesterday, tracking it out at 10 o'clock, and we assessed it, what happened actually today, a large part of that moisture stayed elevated, and some of that resulted in some patchy fog, but really into our forecast on Wednesday, because it's such calm winds, we expect a large part of that moisture to settle down on the ground and give us that fog coverage. That's by 6 a.m. Wednesday, and you can see some of those spots where the cloud coverage is increasing. It's really actually fog on the surface. So look at these morning lows. Whew. It's going to be a mild one for sure. 55 degrees in Amory, 56 in Houston, 57 around Oxford, and 59 Holly Springs. There will be a few areas that also reach into the 60s, 61 around South Haven and Tunica, Senatobia. Almost want to include you guys in there as well for the potential of getting a more mild start than where you're already sitting. As we keep that futurecast going, you can see that those dry conditions do prevail. The greens try to stick around. I'm just not sold on this forecast whenever it comes to these rain chances because of what happened today. A large part of it staying elevated, and it'll follow suit with our forecast tomorrow. So 7:30 on your Wednesday, still mostly dry with that fog gradually clearing on out, burning up due to that sunshine starting to peek out from the sky. So as we get further into our afternoon forecast and that sunshine does its damage, that'll clear out our moisture and leave us with mostly sunny skies for our noontime hour, but really into our afternoon forecast. So it's winter break right now. I know folks are looking to spend some time outside or get that energy out from their kids, and this is a good forecast for it. So before those Christmas Eve services, let them run around a little bit outside. Enjoy the great air. Pretend this is a late summer, early fall forecast because the temperatures are actually reading around that same margin. So let them enjoy some time outside, and you can go right along with them and join them because it is going to be phenomenal, especially by the afternoon. Those breaks in the clouds allow for that sunshine to peek through. And we're sitting pretty all the way into those Christmas Eve services. So nothing to worry about in the sky, just those warm temperatures that we're experiencing on the ground. Taking a look at those high temperatures Wednesday, the big number I want you to pay attention to is our normal, 54 degrees. Now tell me, do you see anything close to it on the map? No, you do not, because temperatures are going to be well above average as they have been for the past several days, reaching into the low to mid 70s with a few numbers that stand out, especially Columbus, Vernon, and Aliceville around 76, 75 Kosciuszko, Greenwood, and Houston, 74 Tupelo, New Albany, and Greenville, and then 73 around Clarksdale and Cleveland. Of course, we're talking about our Christmas forecast. Christmas Eve candlelight forecast going to be beautiful as well. Beautiful with the candles, but also beautiful feeling. 73 degrees by 4, 68 by 6, and 61 there by 8 o'clock. Still with those partly cloudy conditions, but no chance of rainfall. Excuse me. Putting out those fires, those flames are going to be lit, and we'll all remember the reason for the season, and that is, of course, baby Jesus. Cannot wait to celebrate his birthday and, of course, get to spend some time with family and friends in the process. It's just such a beautiful time of year. I love it. And Merry Christmas to all of you guys out there in North Mississippi. You guys are our family and friends too here at Mississippi Live Weather. So we hope that you guys have a fantastic holiday season as well. All right, let's take Futurecast and continue it on into our Wednesday night. And Let's track when Santa comes into town, right, everybody? So as we head into those overnight hours, you can see that those partly cloudy conditions do remain in place. Not an impossibility at all, especially because if we look behind these clouds, there's such little wind that we get some more patchy fog for our Thursday morning. So Santa's got to turn on the low beams, Rudolph especially on the leading part of that sleigh. But as we get into those overnight hours, it's at least remaining dry. So Santa enjoying that forecast. And as he pulls into North Mississippi, honestly, he'll probably have the t-shirt and shorts ready because it's too warm of a forecast for that Santa suit, especially or even into our Thursday morning with mild conditions overhead, mid to upper 50s and a few low 60s, not out of the question. So as we head through the rest of our Thursday, Santa's heading back up to the North Pole. We're enjoying opening our presents with some friends and family, and it's going to be a beautiful forecast as well. So if you need any last-minute Christmas gifts, get one that takes the kids outside, because with this beautiful of a forecast, they're going to want to do exactly that. Take those gifts, head outdoors, and enjoy them all day long. And it's a good forecast for it. As you see, dry conditions overhead. Clouds do try to linger throughout the day, but I do expect a few breaks, especially during the afternoon, where that sunshine will show up and show out. And whenever it shows up, it'll show out in the form of warm air. It's warming up our atmosphere once again. Take a look at these high temperatures. Warm. Late summer, early fall, like I talked about a moment ago. 75 degrees New Albany, Grenada, 74 Cleveland, Clarksdale, 73 Senatobia, Holly Springs, 75 Starkville and Eupora, 76 Tupelo, Houston, Columbus, Aliceville, Vernon. Just a warm pattern all the way across the board. So any plans you have for your Christmas just need to be taken outside to enjoy this forecast. And don't take it from me. Take it from the fact that things are going to get a lot different heading into that extended pattern. So this warm air, it looks like it sticks around forever. I mean, it sticks around for several days, all the way into Saturday with the mid-70s still as those highs and lows starting in the low 60s. It's feeling like September at this point. But then we get into Sunday, and our frontal system pushes into the area and gives us a few of those showers, a few scattered showers. That's going to be attached to that cold front. And cold front, big emphasis on cold, because look at the forecast beyond. Monday, Tuesday, 40 degrees for highs. To give you perspective, we're not in the 40s at all at any point of the day over the next 4 days. So our high temperatures Monday and Tuesday are already something we've not experienced in a while, but then our lows get even lower, and we're starting sub-freezing Monday morning and sub-freezing for the last day of 2025, 22 degrees. Heading out the door Tuesday morning, and it will unfortunately carry over into our New Year's Eve forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Happy New Year to everybody. I know that's the next thing and you just want to get through the Christmas season. I get it, but never too early to prepare for the next holiday, and that's going to be New Year's Eve, 46 degrees for highs. New Year's Day gradually getting a bit warmer, 55 degrees for highs, but still much different than where things sit right now. And that cold air will carry over into 2026, and we're starting off the new year right around where we should be here in North Mississippi. Much colder, but still plenty of sunshine, so not tracking any rainfall for any of those celebrations. If you're coming to Tupelo, going to be a good time, and dry weather, and no matter where you're at here in North Mississippi, going to be a great time. So we're excited for it. Excited for Christmas. That's what we're all paying attention to over the next 48 hours. But I just wanted to touch on this so that way you guys will have a heads up on what to expect with that forecast. So I want to look through the chat here real quick. Cover Rudolph's nose. Wait, hang on, let me see. Reindeers and Santa will be happy in the South delivering presents. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is a great way to put it, Pat. And I think grilling hamburgers for Christmas lunch may be in order. Yeah, treat it like a July 4th celebration. Just get out there, get the grills going. Honestly, uncover the pools at this point. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be that warm. But the fact that we're still sitting in the 70s should definitely tell you that it's an abnormal pattern. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Oh, football forecast. We're going to work to get those in next week, so stay tuned for that. Just waiting on latest data to come in, but it's still shaping up to be a good one for all of our teams that are playing in 2026. So excited to show you guys that here in a bit. But yeah, we're going to get through one thing at a time. We're going to start with Christmas, then we'll get into New Year, then we'll get into those football forecasts for sure. Due date for Baby Maynor. Yes, next Christmas, Baby Maynor will be here. Little Cruz will be here, and I'm so excited to have him. That's what we keep talking about this Christmas, is just getting to see our little boy and see him enjoy the Christmas season. It'll be his first one in 2026. So, man, that's unreal. Oh, we're excited. But we're excited to enjoy this one together, too. So the Maynor household has been busy, navigating Tupelo earlier on. So you can imagine how that went. So we're trooping trooping through the Christmas season. All right, I think that this has been enough of gabbing with Gabe for the 10 o'clock hour. I thank you guys for staying up with me. It's always a great time getting to have the company and talk to you guys about those forecasts, talk to you about those plans. Coming up, I'm actually going to put a post on Facebook here later that's talking about some of your favorite Christmas traditions, and we'll showcase a few of those coming up on Mississippi Live Weather on your Christmas Eve. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm also going to have the last edition of the 12 Ties of Christmas. Unfortunately, there's only about 5 ties, but nonetheless, it still had a good title. So we're going to do our finale tomorrow. Stay tuned for that, and we'll be able to showcase that here on Mississippi Live Weather. It's been such a fun month, such a fun year, 2025 wrapping up and heading into 2026. And big things are coming. We're just so excited that we get to do it with you guys here in North Mississippi. Okay, you guys have a fantastic night. Latest report, Grady telling me that patchy fog is already setting in between Boonville and Hills Chapel on Highway 30. So there you go, patchy fog in the forecast. Already seeing that across North Mississippi. So you guys use your low beams if you are heading out and about, but if you are heading out in the morning and maybe tracking a few of those light sprinkles, Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available today on iOS and Android. Go ahead and download that to stay updated on that forecast, and we'll keep you guys updated here in North Mississippi. And not only there, all across the country. It might say Mississippi Live Weather app, but it's accessible anywhere. And we cannot wait to give you guys that latest forecast wherever you're headed here in the U.S. as you go see family and friends this holiday season. Our next broadcast happening bright and early with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. That'll be at 6:30, 7, and 7:30. Maya might even make an appearance. Who knows? All the more reason to join and maybe see if you get to witness that. But heading into your Christmas Eve forecast, 5, 6, and 10, we'll have a look at your Christmas, what to expect, and the latest look at your New Year's forecast. So you'll want to stay tuned because you definitely want Santa to give you a gift. And one of those first gifts could be the forecast here from Mississippi Live Weather. Well, we will see you guys bright and early, and you guys have a fantastic night. Very grateful that I get to be here in North Mississippi with you guys. Very grateful we get to wrap up the year with you guys. And we'll see you back bright and early very soon here on Mississippi Live Weather.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy